Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving into a genuinely fascinating philosophical text today. It's from April 2024, written by Zhu Feng, and it's titled Testing Whether You Live in the Spiritual World. Basically, we're going to break down a really fundamental self-assessment about how we actually experience our day-to-day reality.
Are you living in the material world or the spiritual world? I mean, it's a pretty massive existential question, right? Before we go any further, just take a quick second and internally reflect on your own current state of being. Really be honest with yourself here. Where do you feel like you spend the vast majority of your mental and physical energy on a daily basis? Well, Zhu Feng presents a framework that cuts right through all that daily noise to help us answer this exact question with, honestly, crystal clarity.
All right, moving into Section 1, Two Worlds of Existence.
Zhu Feng essentially proposes that there really isn't this murky, gray middle ground. We are operating in one of two very distinct realms. On one hand, living in the material world is described using just a single word, and that word is tiresome. And the text specifically notes that this means tiresome both physically and mentally. It's just a complete and total drain. But on the flip side, the spiritual world is described as effortless. So you're either completely exhausted by the sheer weight of existence, or you're just kind of moving through it effortlessly.
That brings us to Section 2, the material world's weight. So, what exactly makes this material experience feel so unbelievably tiresome? Well, when you're stuck in the material world, your days, your months, your years, they're all spent fretting over the absolute bare necessities of life. We're talking food, clothing, shelter, transportation, birth, aging, illness, death. It's this constant, never-ending cycle of worry about sheer survival and just the unavoidable physical realities of being a human being. Zhu Feng argues that if your mind is constantly looping through these exact anxieties, well, you are firmly planted in the material world.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, the pursuit of wealth.
Because, think about it, all those heavy anxieties about basic survival inevitably lead us right into the ultimate trap, which is focusing on how to accumulate material wealth and just make more money. According to Zhu Feng, if this is your primary focus, spending your precious days and years literally obsessing over wealth accumulation, then this is the definitive proof that you are operating within the material world. The mental energy we spend trying to secure more and more wealth just to fend off those survival anxieties, that is exactly what makes this state of existence so deeply, deeply tiresome. Honestly, it is a treadmill that never actually stops.
Now, let's slow things down a bit for Section 4, the spiritual world's lightness.
But what if we just step away from all of that? Let's take a collective breath here and just consider this statement from the text. Living in the world of the soul means living lightly. It's basically the direct antidote to all that physical and mental exhaustion we were just talking about. Living lightly means truly experiencing that effortlessness we explored earlier. It's an existence completely free from the crushing weight of endless material fretting. Just imagine letting go of all that heavy mental baggage. That, right there, is the spiritual world.
Okay, so let's get into Section 5, assessing your reality. So how do we actually apply this wisdom to our own lives? I mean, how can one really know if they are living in the spiritual world? We've conceptually established the two worlds, right? The tiresome material world on one side and the effortless spiritual world on the other. But how do you actively measure your own progress? How do you actually know, for sure, if you've transitioned from that deeply anxious state to a state of living lightly?
Well, the text points to exactly 6 indicators for this assessment, and what's really intriguing about Zhu Feng's approach here is the little bit of mystery it invites. The source explicitly tells us to use 6 indicators to assess our release, but, and here's the catch, it kind of leaves it up to us to truly discover and define what those specific items of liberation actually feel like in our own souls. It's a total invitation to look inward. So ask yourself, what would those 6 specific signs of absolute weightlessness and effortlessness look like for you?
Zhu Feng states that if you genuinely feel or possess those indicators of lightness, well, you have achieved freedom from the shackles of the material world. You are definitively living in the spiritual world. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on long after this explainer ends. Look at your daily worries. Look really closely at your pursuit of wealth. Are they simply practical tools you're using to navigate life? Or are they actually heavy shackles keeping your soul entirely exhausted? Thank you so much for exploring this with me today, and I genuinely hope you find a way to live just a little more lightly.